and over so that we can talk about niche marketing. DJ, do you say niche or niche?
I say niche, but I'm
Yes,
not sure
high five.
that everybody. Okay, and do I have sharing opportunities?
You do, my dear.
All right. So good morning, everybody. We're going to talk about niche marketing today. I have a cold, so I sound like a frog. Sorry about that. I have cough drops in my mouth, so sorry about that too. So niche marketing is something that people are afraid of. And so I want to make it a little bit easier for you and to explain a little bit about it today. We're going to do 2 weeks of this. Today, we're going to talk about what is niche marketing. And then we're going to follow through with how do you do the niche marketing next week. So I did put together some slides just because I don't think you want to look at me all this time. Plus the fact that if I tell you and you see it and I can provoke some kind of emotion, then I'm going to hit you on all 3 corners, right? So I'm going to hold on a second and let me change over and hold on 1 second. All right, this big and turn it on. Small here. And assuming I can make this work. Share screen. Oops, that's not the right screen. Hold on a second. Obviously, I did something wrong. Hold on 1 second. Let's talk amongst yourselves for a second. All right. Oh, shut the whole thing down. That's not good. Open it up. All right. Mhm. All right, can you see my screen? Can you all see it?
Yes.
Somebody say yes or no.
Yes, looks great.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. So let's just talk about what is niche marketing. It is marketing. That's the key thing I want you to remember. It's marketing. It doesn't mean that you can't work with anybody else. What it means is that you are marketing to a specific target market that eventually you're going to be able to work with all the time so that you have control of your business, have control over your budget, and you have control over your time. So why would you do that? Because you can make more money, you can work less, and you can have more freedom. I'm assuming that's why you all got into real estate, so you can have more money, work less, have more freedom, right? You all agree? Okay, so I'm also assuming that you have a business plan and a budget of some kind. So to achieve our goals, we usually have to stay within our own budget. So let's look at, for those of you that have never seen this, and for those of you that have, I'm just going to explain it again. This is the purchasing pyramid, and it's for any market. So I want you to look at, we've taken the pyramid, and the bottom part, the bottom 30% are not interested in what you have to do, what you have to sell, what you have to say. They either don't like you, they don't like your product, they don't like your company, something about it they don't like. So they're never going to buy from you. The next 30% up are totally unaware that you're alive, that your company's out there, that they might need your product. So they're not going to buy from you. So already I've taken 60% of your marketing budget and I've freed it up for you to use in however you want to use it. Now, the next 30% might be interested if the stars aligned, everything's perfect, and they knew you existed. So what does that mean? Those 30% are the people that you want to reach out to that you have not met and that you want to put in a pipeline. Now you have 10% left at the top of your pyramid. 7% of those people want what you have, but they're not in a situation to buy right now. Maybe they're getting their credit cleared up. maybe they're not ready to move, they haven't sold their house, whatever that might be, they haven't gotten their orders to be transferred, whatever that might be. But 7% of the whole people that you've been marketing to are interested just right now, not right now. Now, that top 3%, they're ready now. They're ready now if you meet them, if you ask them, if you're in contact with them. So 3%. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go through and why we talk about niche marketing. Now, let's say that you, I gotta get this off my screen, sorry about that. All right, let's say that you went into another business, something besides real estate. Let's say you opened a toy shop or a thrift store or a pet shop or a baby shop or a sports shop or a fancy restaurant, whatever that might be. Wouldn't you do your research first and see what are the demographics in the place before I find a space to open my shop? If I'm going to open a toy shop, I'm not going to open it in a place where it's 55 plus, right? I'm going to open it in a place where there are children and parents going by. If I'm going to open a car dealership or I'm going to open a Jiffy Lube, I'm going to put that in a place that's prominent that people can see that they can pull in. I'm going to do my research. So I'm going to talk to you now about doing your research. Does that make sense to you guys? Can I have a nod of heads of people that makes sense, that you need to know who you are marketing to?
Yes, absolute sense.
Yes.
Okay, so there are two kinds of marketing. There's demographic and there's geographic. And you need to do both, but we're going to talk about demographic first. And that's your target market. Who are your peeps? Who do you want to work with? I always said when I was teaching this before, when I was a broker, is that when I started real estate, I knew that I knew what my demographics were. I don't like people in my car. So I had a sports car. They never got to get in my car because they wouldn't fit. So I didn't work with families. I'm not a big fan of children unless they're mine, and I don't have any anymore. So that's great. So I know who I am. So who are you? So you know who are they? So what's their age? What industry do they work in? Are they have a family? Are they single? What do they belong to a club that you belong to, a networking group, a social group? Are they family, friends of friends, past contacts? Are they local? Are they in another state? Are they a specific group? Are they a vet? Are they in military? Are they senior citizens? They work for a particular company. What you need to take a look at. I'm sorry. Hey, you guys can jump in anytime. I am totally okay with you saying anything you want to say.
Candy?
Hey, little one. Tiffany, can you mute them? Okay, so what are you looking at? Okay, you get to choose. First thing we do is you get to choose who's going to be your clientele. So do you love to play golf or tennis? Would you like to spend every morning playing golf or tennis? Is that where you want to get your clients? Super. Do you dance? Do you shop? Are you a foodie, a wine connoisseur? How about your college buddies or families with kids? Who do you like? Think about that first. That's the first thing that you're going to think about. Because why? It's your business and you shouldn't have to work with people that you don't like. So now, start with your sphere. Whether you're a brand new agent or you're an existing agent, start with your sphere. Questions we're going to ask are my contacts from a particular age group? Are my contacts from a particular industry, a club, a networking group? Do I like certain neighborhoods? Would I rather sell property in this neighborhood or that neighborhood? Do I want to sell a specific type of property? And then I want you to look at your contacts that are in, your phone, your computer, wherever, if you still have an address book, all of those people, put them in KV Core. And we're going to look at them. Are they local? Are they from out of town? How old are they? Might they be downsizing? Might they be upsizing? Would they send me referrals? Were they first-time home buyers? Are they members of the military? Have they relocated with a particular corporation? And where did you meet them? Those are some of the questions you're going to start with your sphere. Now, if you're experienced, you might be surprised when you go through this that you're consistently working with a target audience. You may not have defined them, but they are probably more targeted than you think. And again, you're going to ask them the very same questions. You're going to ask yourself the very same questions about them. So what are we going to do? We're going to set up an Excel spreadsheet. This is what you're going to do. I'm not going to do it for you. You're going to set up an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to make columns about things that are important to you. You're going to make a column that says, I like these people. You're going to make one that says, I made money, or I will potentially make money with these people. Easy to work with. Would or has referred. You have another column. You have maybe you have a column with their age, their business income. What do they do? Where you met them? What club or group they belong to? Are any of those things that you talked about, you got when you put down your list of things we talked about before, make a column and then go through your database and click on those columns. That, Susie Jones, I really like her. I didn't make any money. She never actually bought anything with me. She was really easy to work with. I really loved her. And she's about 35, blah, blah, blah. All right, that. So you're going to go through all of those people and do that. I know it's going to take a lot of time, right? But you have to put the time in, get the results at the end. So now what you're going to look at is, where are your check marks? So what you're going to do is the ones that have the most check marks, let's say that the most important check marks for you are money and that you like to work with them. And they would refer to you. So who are the people that meet all three of those criteria? You're going to put those all of them in, and you're going to put those in your number one bucket. The next group that has those same columns, but there's less of them, number two bucket. And number three bucket is the ones that are the third group. So what does that mean? You're going to spend, remember the pyramid, right? So ones are your 3%, twos are your 7%, and threes are that 30% that you need to be marketing to for the future. So now you know where to spend your money, right? You know that those people that are in column one are most likely to be the ones that are going to purchase or to refer someone to purchase to you in the next year. We know from NAR that at least 20% of your sphere at any given time has some, either wants to buy or sell property, or they know somebody that does. So that's your best bucket. Once you have that, then you can start actually putting together your marketing goal. Now, I wanted to just say this. It's not all about the money. I know that. So if you love working with first-time home buyers and you know that you're going to make a whole lot, you're going to make a whole lot more appointments, you're going to go out, show a lot more properties, you're going to do a lot more work, but it makes you feel better at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with that. I think that that's the way you should run your business. On the other hand, if you love working with high-end people, that's where you should be working. If you love working with ranches, that's where you should be working. You have to be happy at the end of the day. Obviously, you want to be happy and make money, but at some point in time, you may have to make a choice. And it's your business, so you can do whichever one you want. All right, let's look at some examples of niche marketing and a demographic side. And so if you want to take a screenshot of this, feel free to do so. High net worth individuals, coastal homeowners that have owned their properties 5+ years. Let's think about that. If they've owned their property for 5+ years, that means they've been there since 2018, right? And they've gone through COVID and all this thing. They may be ready to sell that coastal property. They may be done. It's just like, I need to get rid of this and move forward. Also, especially if they're on the west coast of Florida. Veterans, active military personnel. You don't think about active military personnel, but you should, for referral purposes and for building your business. An active military personnel, person changes jobs, changes locations often. So that gives you an opportunity for referrals out and to get referrals in. Empty nesters, people over 55, baby boomers, coastal retirees, people that want to retire on the coast, senior citizens, first-time home buyers, newlyweds, divorces, renters, investors, anyone that's owned their property for 5 to 7 years, and millennials. Did you know that millennials are the largest group of home buyers right now? And if you want to know, NAR has a field guide to millennial home buyers. You just go onto the NAR and put in millennial home buyers field guide, and you should that should pop right up for you. It gives you information about how to reach out to millennials and to work with them. So before we move forward to the demographic, let's talk about the geographic. Does anybody have any questions? I can't really see, so Tiffany, are you there?
She is not.
Okay, who is there? Tim, are you there? Can you help me see if anybody has their hand raised? I'd really appreciate it if you just unmuted and talked, though, if you have anything to say.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm looking.
Okay. All right, anybody? No, we'll move on then. Okay,
Well, can I just ask a quick question?
of course.
So you say that we can have like a little group of each of these category, or we just pick one and then the others we try to reach as well?
Great question. Thank you. Actually, this is a list of just ideas. It's not all of them, obviously. There's all kinds of niches there. Just some ideas. And what I would suggest is that you start with one. And then when you see some results from that and you're spending your money on this group, then move to the second group. So if, let's say that you wanted to work with baby boomers and coastal retirees, maybe you start with the baby boomers because there's more opportunity for more business with that. And then you move to the coastal retirees. So you obviously don't do all of them, just do one or two. Okay.
Thank you.
So demographic marketing. You're going to do exactly the same thing with your demographic market. What you're going to ask yourself, you're going to do your list, and you're going to ask them. Well, let's look at this. Ask yourself, are there neighborhoods or areas that you know well, or that you like? Is there a place that you've sold a significant number of properties or a specific part of town? Are you well known in certain parts of your city or region? Are there certain neighborhoods you'd feel you'd be more successful in? And do you know homeowners in a particular neighborhood? What neighborhoods have you held open houses and that really appeal to you? In other words, you want to ask yourself, where do I want to work? Exactly, where do I want to work? And then if that's a particular area that you want to work, then are there particular subdivisions that you want to work in? Is it downtown? That's great too. Or is it or is it coastal? Where is it that you want to work? And then you're going to look at is what's the price point there? Who are the current owners? What's the potential growth? Are there potential sellers? In other words, doing your research. When you go into your MLS and even into KV Core, I found really recently that there's information about this, is like you can tell if this particular neighborhood has a turnover rate. If you have a 3% turnover rate, that's probably not the best neighborhood to be marketing to. But if you have a 20 or 25% turnover rate, then you have an opportunity for listings in there. You want to look at what's the age group of the owners and or the buyer, people that are buying there. Convenience for you, how close is it? Don't choose an area that takes you an hour to get to. And what makes you happy to be there? When you walk out, when you drive into that neighborhood, or if you live in that neighborhood and you look outside it and you feel happy being there, then that's an area that you want to work in. I think most of us have worked in places before where we weren't happy to be there. Now we have an opportunity to choose where we are. So don't choose a place to be that you're not happy being there. So here's some examples of niche marketing. FSBOs, expireds. Large two-story homes over 5 years old. Does anybody guess why you would want to target large two-story homes over 5 years, that they've lived there over 5 years? Anybody want to guess?
Yes, because the kids leave sometimes and you have to downsize.
Exactly. And what about small home subdivisions where they've been there over 5 years? Why would you target that market?
Might be wanting to upgrade.
Right, because their kids are getting bigger, right? And or they've got kids now, so it's time to move up. Okay, or there's particular subdivisions. You may say, oh, I really like, ABC subdivision. There seems to be a turnaround. I'm going to do my research. Oh, there is a good turnover on this subdivision. It's a large subdivision. I can now start target marketing that. As a matter of fact, a smart realtor that's in it for the long haul is going to pay attention to what subdivisions are being built now. And then maybe at some point in time, and after it's finished up, the subdivision is finished, the builder's moved on, a year into that, that's a good marketing place to be. You'd be surprised how many people sell a new build within 2 years after purchasing it for a number of reasons. The house that we're living in right now, it was, what was it, 8 months old when we bought it. People bought it, they decided they didn't like each other, they got a divorce and put the house on the market. So you never know. But then if you are the first agent that is marketing to that subdivision, that's a brand new subdivision, they're going to get to know you and you're going to be the realtor of choice. Another niche market is coastal properties. If you live on in a coastal community, and I am just going to preface this with, if you live in a coastal community, make sure that you learn all about coastal waters and boats and all of the things that you need to know about living on the coast. You need to know about seawalls and you need to know about all kinds of things that if you're inland, you don't need to know about. 55 plus communities. That's huge, you guys. I mean, it's really big, 55 plus communities. And people don't usually market to them. And it's amazing to me how many people even list a home and don't even put 55 plus in the MLS. And so, or condos, maybe you want to work with people that buy condos. What's the advantage of working with people that buy condos? Well, you're going to get people that want a home and you're going to get people that want investment properties. Mobile home parks. We think about mobile home parks and we go, yeah, really, DJ, do I really want to do that? Well, I have a really good friend in Sarasota that works just exclusively in a mobile home park, that every mobile home is on their own land and has a boat slip. So, and they're selling in the up to $300,000 to $700,000 a piece. Maybe you want to do downtown urban living. Maybe you want to do high net worth individuals, or maybe you want to work through social media, finding people through social media. These are all just examples. I'm not telling you these are all the ways of geographic niche marketing. By far, it's not. So again, you're going to find the top 3%, and that's where you're going to spend most of your money. That's where we're going to work on finding those people and getting in touch with them really, really quickly. And then your next group, that's going to be your 7%. That's the ones that, given it just a little bit of time or a little bit of push, are ready to buy or sell. And then you're going to have your long-term, your 30% that you're going to start your pipelines on. You're going to get them in KVB Core. You're going to put them onto a drip campaign and start sending them things. And then and believe me, when you know who you're sending your things to, then you know what to send. What I'll tell you is, once you know the who, then you can find the what, the where, the how, and the when. All of those things fall into place, but you have to know the who first. We don't do that because we haven't been trained to do that. It's important to know who you are marketing before you go out and spend tons of money marketing. If you're buying leads, unless you're targeted with buying your leads, again, you're throwing away at least 60% of your money, if not 90%. So once you do all your lists and you have your buckets ready, now you have to do your research. Without the research, it's never going to work because you don't know these people until you research them. So you have to review all of your ideas, select the promising ones. You're going to research and find out. You're going to review the market stats. You're going to do the transaction history for the various neighborhoods. You speak with other people that have been in the business longer than you and maybe work in the particular neighborhoods, maybe not the one you want to work in, but that have chosen to work in a particular neighborhood or a particular demographic market. Bounce your ideas off of them. Call your sponsor, call your mentor, talk to them about this. Take a few target customers out for coffee and pick their brains. I think that that's a great idea. If you have a client that is the perfect client, it is your what we call avatar. If you could take them and clone them, you would do it in a minute and you would have hundreds of people that you love to work with, that you're making money with, and you're having a great time. Take them out for coffee and say, where do I find more people like you? I don't know about you, but I would be complimented by that. So talk to people that are the people you want to talk to. Research your target audience online to learn more. What does that mean? That means if you say, I want to target 55 plus communities, go online and look up 55 plus communities and then see who is buying them. Find out everything you can online. You have to do your research. And you need to know what motivates them in order to give them what they need to use you. Now, I will say, if you don't have enough people in your bucket, you can consider cold calling. I got the latest statistics for you, and these are the statistics. You may not like cold calling. I don't like cold calling, but I was blown away with this. It seems like, cold calling statistics seems like it's low, but if the return is 1 out of every 209 cold calls will result in a referral. So for every 7.5 hours of work, you can expect to have 1 legitimate meeting or referral. And 49% of buyers preferred cold calling as their first point of contact. In other words, 49% of buyers received a cold call from somebody that they used to buy their house. And another kind of things I did not know. After you've made first contact with a potential customer, the best time for a follow-up call is between 4 and 5 p.m. And Wednesday is the best day for making cold calls. They're 70% more successful on this day of the week. Isn't that amazing? Who knew? So I'm gonna I'm gonna close this here, and I'm gonna give you this. If you want this, I'm more than happy to share it with you. I can, I think I can post it on the GPS site, and you can have it. But these are some data sources, some general, from the 2020 census, Neighborhood Scout, how Walk Score, which is how easily you can get to a coffee shop or whatever when you put the address in, how close transit is, information on schools, how safe it is, topographical maps. Okay. There's one about Yelp, and then there's Movie Tone, there's Gravy, Neighborhood Scout. Anyway, if you want that for your resources, just let me know, and I'd be happy to share that with you. And that concludes my workshop, but wait a minute. So let's talk. Let's talk about what you saw, what you think, and what you want to, what questions that you might have.
I think there was a lot of great information there, and thank you for your time on doing that. is so we have the basics there with the niche marketing. Now, how do we get to do certain ones like that? Is there a recommendation as far as marketing to certain niches?
We're gonna do that next week. I'm gonna bring you
Okay.
quite a few ideas on how to do that and where to go and how to make that work, but we can't get through it all today. So I thought I'll just break it into two, and then we can talk about it in depth next week.
Awesome. Thank you. I think it's great tools that you've set out so far.
So who's going to do this?
I have a quick question, or just clarity anyways. Thank you for sharing all of this as well. But I had a question. So I know we talk about like the niche marketing and even branding yourself. Would it still be, I guess, for lack of better words, professional like, or, would it hurt your brand? All those fill in the blanks. If you are switching, so let's just say you started off with something because you're in a certain area, but then let's say you move or you chose something different. How does that look for someone to kind of go? And granted, I know you said that we could obviously do more than one. But what if we just completely said, you know what, I don't think I want to work with families anymore. I'm just going to go off and I'm sticking with 55 and older and VAs.
Here's what I'm going to say. The families are not going to know that you quit, that you changed, and the people that you start, the 55 plus, are not going to know that you didn't do it before. So it's just, it is no different than adding one. If you stop, you are going to stop there. It's one of the things that I know is that what we want to do today may not be what we want to do tomorrow. So we all are going to change at some point in time as to how we're working. We may choose to change, to move, and that's okay. Totally okay. For those of you that are brand new and you're just getting started, here's what I would say to you. Get a journal, get a notebook, whatever you want to do. And every time that you're doing an open house now, or that you're meeting with new clients for the first time, start taking notes. And when you're doing an open house, I'm assuming that you would be nice to them and you are communicating and having conversation. Ask them, what do you do? What are your jobs? How long have you been here? What brings you to this neighborhood? Just things that you want to know. But it's also going to help you build your demographic, profile, if you will. I guess we are building a profile. And then as you move into your career, then you can say, wow, you know what? Doing these open houses, I learned that I really do best. And I really like working with this person, this type of person, better than that type of person. And that sounds awful to say it like that, but it's true. If you are more comfortable dealing with somebody that's, in the same age group that you are, or that you like helping somebody that's younger, you like helping someone that's older, you like helping somebody that, has kids, you like helping somebody that's just moving into the community that doesn't know anybody. So you're building, you can start doing it now, even though you're not going to be marketing a lot right now. But you can start building that demographic that makes you happy. I just keep coming back to, people get out of anything. They leave anything when they're not happy and they don't like what they're doing. So you have the opportunity to make your job, your business, your career perfect. Are you going to run into some, bad people, some annoying people, some grouchy people? Yes, but don't put them in your group. Don't send them marketing pieces. I mean, you can say nope, and you can fire clients too. So it's make your job easier for you, more productive, and more profitable, right? You're all, like Curtis always says, it's You got into this business to make money. So do what you want to do and make money. So,
Thank you.
end of story. Uh, And you may find that one market leads you to another too. As you get into that market, you are, and I don't know all of you, but I'll just say this: if you like first-time home buyers, bless you. And however, I will tell you that if you work with first-time home buyers, your referrals are going to be first-time home buyers, and you will get stuck in a niche, if you're not careful. So make sure that the one that you're stuck in is the one that you want to live in. If you start working with people that are, work in a business that they don't make any money, you're going to be selling low-end properties. If you start working with people that are high wealth individuals, that's where you're going to be working. And your comfort level will adjust to wherever you choose to be. It's just the way it is. And you've got all of us to work with. So if you have questions or you have concerns, all you have to do is call one of us and we'll be happy to help. Any more questions? I can't believe I got out. I'm going to let you out early, but I may if you don't have. Come on, somebody tell me what you're going to do with this. Are you going to do anything with it? Jeff, this time, are you going to do anything?
Yes. I plan on putting, when you were going through the check marks and the spreadsheets, what got my mind thinking was hashtags in KV Core.
Yep.
And how to use hashtags, and you can have, so you have the 3 groups and be able, because with KV Core, you can slice and dice with hashtags. So that was so I'm really building up the KV Core. I think your emphasis on building the profile and spending the time on the profile is very valuable, and knowing your customer so that you can market to them. That's just real smart. So I'm definitely planning on implementing all of that in KV Core. Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else think about that? The KV Core, using KV Core for it instead of the Excel? That's really
That's a great idea. I just wrote that down too, because you had the screenshots that I have that I took. I can use all those as hashtags. So that's awesome. I mean, I already have a few of them: investors, renters, but baby boomers and the senior citizens and the 50 people over 55. Just great information that we can totally utilize. Thank you, DJ.
You're welcome. You know what? If you get these things in your head, you're going to ask, and you're going to start being able to know. You remember who it was that was speaking on the Friday call last month? I think it was that he said, "How many of you know what your customer's profession is, and how can you expect them to refer you if you're not referring them?" And I thought, wow, that's sort of a slap upside the head. I mean, I don't know. And do you know? Do you know what every one of your clients does? And so if you have a database, if you have a sphere, if you have past clients, why not pick up the phone and call and say, "I'm putting together a list of what all of my clients do, or all my friends or all my families do. And so I have a referral list to hand out to people as I go out into the field." Why not do that? If you have a client that's a plumber, why not promote him? If you have somebody that is, you may have a stay-at-home mom that's opened up a daycare center. You don't know if you haven't contacted them. And why would they not tell you? If you're going to help them get business, they're going to tell you, and it's also going to start a conversation, and it shows that you care. I keep talking. I feel like talk, guys, talk. Somebody else talk. Yeah.
TJ?
I think it's interesting what you said about the niches and being able to change. When I first got into real estate, I used like the home buyer niche. And then when I started getting experience, I realized I didn't want to work with home buyers or first time home buyers. So I moved into listing specialists. And from listing specialists, I got to work with more investors. And now I'm doing the investor thing. So I also think you can use your niches to kind of step yourself up and elevate yourself and educate yourself as well. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so true. But the thing is, Chris, you let it happen. You didn't get yourself caught in that particular new home buyer, first time home buyer program.
It was
So
strategic. Yeah.
it was strategic. And that's part of the key of what I'm telling you. Be strategic with your business. Have a goal, have a plan. And if you do not have a business plan, you need to get a business, you need to put a business plan together, and you need to have a business budget. People, if you're not putting 20% of every check in the bank for your taxes and another at least 10% in an account for your budgeting, you're not running a business. All you're doing is you have a job and you're spending your money. And then at the end of the day, taxes come due and you don't know where to get the money, and you're not marketing and your business is not growing. You have to have a business plan and you have to have a budget. So make sure that you have something in writing and something that you go back to every month at the end of the month and go, how did it happen? How much money did I spend? What were my results from that? Am I on track to reach my goals? Am I on track to stay in business by the end of the year? It is a business. And anytime I teach a class, you're going to hear me say it. It is a business, and you can either have a business or you can have a job. And if you have a business, you're going to grow wealth. If you have a job, you can quit anytime you want. Absolute 20% business, 20% taxes, 20% rainy day fund for the low. Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Tech bits. And but at least 10% of that, of every check, should be put aside for budgeting. And don't overspend. My goodness, don't overspend. Don't go into debt, for long-term debt. If you can't pay it back, we always taught red light, green light. If you got the money, buy it. If you don't have the money, wait till you got the money.
DJ, that rainy day fund, I mean, everyone laughs when I say it. And everyone thinks I'm a successful agent. We do very well. But we go through streaks like everybody else where there's just currently no business.
Yep.
And when you talk about niche marketing, if you've got these, Chris, and Chris has said it, I cycled through all of them. We cycle back to some of them thinking, we need to start looking at business that we need 5 years from now. Let's go back to first-time home buyers. They will make a move in 3 to 5 years. Let's go back to the investors. Let's go back to the high-end markets. So I think it's important, like everything else, that we balance through that at the same time, because we need to be looking out a year, 2 years, 3 years if we want to be successful in all of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like choosing that new home development, right? That right now it's not going to give you anything, but in 5 years, it could feed you totally. So you have to project out and have a plan, and like, Chris working with investors now, and some of her investors very well may be her first time home buyers. So you just don't even know how that's going to turn out. Right, Chris?
That's correct.
Yep. So, well, I'm glad that you guys liked it. And next week, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the how and the where and the when. We're going to, how do you find them? Where are they? And how do you reach them? So that's what we're going to cover next week. If you have an opportunity to be where you can take notes, you probably want to do that. If you, I will ask Tiffany, can I post this Word doc on can I put that on the workplace?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I will put
Usually
this
it
data
waits-
sources.
It
on
has
the
to wait until after the video finishes processing it, but then you can actually drop it as a comment right underneath this video.
Okay, so I'll put that in there, you guys, so that you can have the data sources. it's always nice just to have sources where you can use them to get whatever you want to do when you're doing research. And do your research. If you don't know how to do the research, contact somebody that can help you do the research on how to do how to find out what neighborhoods are turning over and what the age groups of the different neighborhoods are and that type of thing. Everything's out there in today's world.
I just missed what you said about how we're going to get that information. I was about to ask that question. It's like, how do we get that information? I'm sorry. I feel like I'm dumb because I should know this, but I don't know. I don't know how to like find out who has been living there for more than 5 years or what the demographics are. So how would I find that out?
Oh, a lot of it, we'll talk a little bit about that next week, but a lot of that information is available on MLS when you do your research on you and the neighborhoods. And I haven't sold in 5 years. You need somebody that's selling now that uses MLS every day should be able to show you how to do that. But yeah, all that information is available. And then in this sheet that I have, there's some information about that too. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to do some research. It's not going to be handed to you with one click of the button. But yeah, it's all out there. And I do have some more sources for you next week, and we'll look at, and I'll check into MLS and see for you so that next week I'll have a little bit more information on that.
Okay, thank you.
And in the chat box, I think there's some information. Is the chat box shown?
Yeah, quite a few people just put some stuff in there. Thanks, guys.
Okay. So if you is the chat box, Tiffany, did they get opportunity to copy that?
They're able to access the chat while the call is still up, but not after we close the call down.
Okay. So NAR, our TechBits, talk to me about that. What is that?
NAR RPR, we all have access to it as realtors. Also, people would call it just RPR.
Okay.
Yeah, RPR is amazing. I use that every listing that appointment that I get, anything that I get that I need to research properties. It's even better than our seller MLS. I enjoy RPR. A lot of great stuff on it.
Who else?
It's free because you are a realtor. It's part of being a realtor. So use every bit of it you can.
So who else has something to add to that?
I just wanted to mention I'm also a new agent, and our realtor board provides a lot of trainings on those systems. So I just wanted to mention to whoever it was that was asking about that. I've learned so much just from doing those trainings through our realtor boards. So, and they want you to be utilizing those systems. So definitely take advantage of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rebecca, which board are you with? And then which brokerage? Just curious.
I'm with Palm Beaches, and I'm also with EXP.
Okay, just curious.
No problem.
So
I want to throw in that I was on RPR. I did a training recently because they have lots of great quick training videos. And one of them shows the extensive research that you can do. I think somebody mentioned it, doing it every single time for the listing. Nikki, I did just one, and it even shows you the traffic, how many cars pass down that street. So if you have a client that's like, I absolutely do not want to be around trafficked area, you can toggle a tool for a car and it will show you little arrows and tell you exactly how many cars pass down that street on a daily basis. So yeah, there's a lot of extensive research on that RPR for sure.
And if you guys are looking for a training video on RPR, Matt McCord, our own Matt McCord, came on and did a training video. It's in our library if you want to know how to use it. So it's out there.
Oh, nice. Thank you. And Tim, wasn't there something in that video that I sent you that has some research things on there? And for the KV Core and KV Core?
Not that I saw research wise, it was really just the basics of getting some searching done in there. But I don't remember the research tools. I'd have to watch it again to answer that.
Okay, I would too. I don't remember either. But it
I
seemed
have a
like,
question, DJ. Next week, when we go over where and how we can find them, can we do some examples on like, because I think that's where my dilemma is I've picked this little area of neighborhoods, but there's over like 5,000 houses in this small little area. So I'm like, okay, let me just make my box a little bit smaller and get a little bit smaller. So I don't know if maybe we could do like 10, 15 minutes on like an example. Okay, I like this area. How do I get the equation and formula to know what the turnover rate is, and if that makes any sense? Because I think that's where I'm kind of stuck too, is like I kind of know the area that I want to toggle, but it looks like there's too many homes. How do I teeter it down a little bit, and the math equation for it?
absolutely, and I think just what that everybody was talking about is going on to the RPR and looking at what are the stats for there is going to help you with that, because if once you know what the turnover rate is going to be, and you have, let's say you have 5,000 homes, let's say that 500 of them sold last year. Now you're going to look at, okay, which property sold and what was the price point, and and all you're gonna have to back it out. And then once you know that, so let's say that more 2-stories sold than 1-stories. Okay, well, you might want to target 2-story properties. Maybe that more people in a certain area of the subdivision sold, and one area that subdivision stays pretty stable. That may be, so it's like taking a look at all of those statistics and then narrowing it down, because you're right, you don't want to be marketing to 5,000 people unless you have unlimited funds. And and what if all 500 of them on list at the same time? You would be the most popular person in EXP Florida. Everybody would be rushing down to help you. So yeah, but we will do some, I like that. We'll do some specifics. We'll do some examples. Liz, you have anything to ask to add to all this? Nope.
Alethea?
Yes, Robert.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this out front to everybody.
Mhm.
I'm all about looking at all the data. But you need to put on your walking shoes with your data and go walk through that neighborhood and have a full and complete understanding of what's going on in there. If homes are
Got it.
selling, which home sold? What did the home next door look like? What's going on for traffic patterns? What goes on there on Friday nights? Completely understand that marketing area. And we did this with the Power Up series.
Mhm.
But you really got to get beyond the data. You really got to get into the neighborhood. If this is where you want to do your business, you've got to get in there and understand it. The data won't tell you these things.
And you have to know what's around there. How fat, is there a Starbucks? Is there a playground? Is there, how far is it to the grocery store? You're going to have people, we have people still moving into Florida every single day, and they don't know the area. And the more you know about the area, the more valuable you are. Right.
Yep, Robert, I'll be walking tonight. I got you. I'll give you guys the follow-up next week then. So yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we want the step count. That's all we care about.
Listen, when you go out and you do these neighborhoods and you do your walkthroughs and your walkarounds and your door knocking and all that stuff, pay very special attention to what's going on around you. Like, who gets their lawn done and what company is used and these sort of things, because they're vendor partners you can reach out to and get more information from.
Oh, that's a great idea, John.
Yeah, great idea.
Alethea, I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to laugh. There's at least two groups that go through that neighborhood every single week and literally know everything about it. The mailman and the trash company.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get branded on a trash truck, so you guys know.
Oh,
Oh, I still want to
that's
see your face on
genius.
it. I want to see your face on a trash truck.
Yeah, there you go.
The
other
humor
thing
is I did work for a trash company at one point, so you guys know. Well, yeah, I shouldn't
I'm
surprise
not
anybody.
surprised.
Oh, buddy. You know what, too? Don't just go during the day. Take a ride down there in the evening. Go see what's happening at nighttime too, because again, you're selling in that area and you want to know what's going on day and night, not every.
That's why I like door knocking in the evenings. Because you get to see people, most people are home and they will talk your ear off if you let them. Alethea, you saw when we went door knocking together in the evening, how many people answered that door because they were home. So I agree 1000%. Go at night.
or not,
It
believe it or
definitely
not.
makes a difference.
Liz, a caveat on that too is, believe it or not, people love when people stop by your house. I love when somebody in the neighborhood stops by my house because they're looking at my house. That's my biggest investment. I should be proud of that, right?
Can I just mention something to you guys? You're so right, Liz. The first couple of weeks before I went out with you, I was doing during the day, and I felt so horrible because I noticed the people who were answering were working. They were working, so I was disturbing them. So of course they were a little more annoyed if they did have to come. On opposite side of that, I had a door knocker come to my house 2 weeks ago, and he's a roof restoration person. My daughter took the card. I called him back because I just wanted to give him kudos for leaving the card. And hey, just so you know, I'm a realtor. Here's my information. It worked actually amazingly because he's actually from Nebraska, which many of you might not know, but I'm from Nebraska. So like the odds of that happening like slim to none. But actually on that phone call of me just letting him know, hey, I got your card, your door knocking is working. I also myself do some door knocking. Let's cross market. He ended up giving me some friends of his that are investors in Nebraska looking to buy an Airbnb because he's already staying in their current Airbnb. Exactly, Jonathan. That was how I felt. I was like, holy guacamole, this is awesome.
But listen, I want to explain it to everybody here. If you don't know this already, that's how it happens. That's it. The lead is just like that. It's the conversation you make with somebody else. That's it.
Yes. Doesn't happen if you sit in your house, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, it doesn't happen if you sit in your house. It doesn't happen if you don't talk to anybody. And it doesn't happen if
I have
all you do is social media. I promise you that.
Yeah, I
Because
actually
what
have
are you looking for? Your video to go viral so that maybe somebody calls you?
Hey, Liz, what time do you call? What time do you walk?
So I typically go door knocking around like 6:30 and I'll be done around 8. I like it because when people are coming home from work, they're pulling in. So I'm telling you, Alethea knows and Desiree knows when they're starting to walk in and I'm going to knock on their door, like, and I see them about to go on the driveway, I'm like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, just stopping by to say we have an open house on Saturday and Sunday. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I promise I'm not trying to sell you anything. And it's just, I get more, we're able to have more face-to-face conversations. So it definitely works.
Very nice. Good sharing, guys. Thank you all for sharing. Hope you all learned something today. And we're past our time. Tiffany, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I will let you guys keep going, but I will at least stop the live and the recording at this point.